In a galaxy of claws and fangs, one species defies the apex predators, humans. Ambassador Lena Voss faces monsters with only words, turning fear into respect. Can empathy conquer the untamable? Dive into this epic tale to find out. Continue reading, then like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more captivating videos and inspire us to create even more amazing content. The Stellar Alliance Orbital Station hung silent in the void. A chrome leviathan orbiting the binary system of Vyrketh Prime. Commander Zarkon, veteran of 60 to blood campaigns, leaned against the observation deck's titanium alloy rail, arms crossed, mandibles still. Below, on the summit floor, apex predators from across 17 star systems prowled in ceremonial patterns, towering draconids, plated felthar, six-limbed pterovacs, all lethal, all dominant. Yet none dared cross the invisible line where the human delegation stood. At their center, Ambassador Lena Voss, a woman standing barely 1.7 meters tall, wrapped in adaptive nanofiber, conversed calmly with a towering draconid war priest. Her posture was relaxed, her tone even, but her presence disruptive, magnetic. Zarkon's third eye blinked in confusion. "They fear her," he muttered. From the shadows, Science Officer Clara slinked closer, tendrils pulsating with soft light. "They don't fear her," she corrected. "They recognize her." Zarkon scoffed. "Humans are soft-skinned, bipeds, fragile. How can they evoke submission from apex bloodlines?" Clara's holographic wristband blinked. She flicked up a scan, subtle muscular twitches, pupil contractions, adrenal levels from the apex species present, all elevated within 5 meters of a human. "Stress signals everywhere. Statistically," she said, "humans are the only species that receive zero aggression markers from class of predators in 98.3. From trim of diplomatic encounters." Zarkon stared back at the floor. One of the humans, barely a child, was petting a felthar bloodhound. The beast, known to decapitate challengers in ritual duels, purred. "No orders. No command implant, just trust." Zarkon's plating shivered. "These creatures," he whispered, "lack claws, fangs, armor, and yet walk among monsters as if they belong." Clara grinned. "That's because they do." Below them, the child looked up, locking eyes with Zarkon. He looked away first. The xenoarchaeology vaults lay beneath 7 layers of reinforced neutron steel and quantum lock seals. Zarkon had only entered once, during the Insectin Accord collapse. Now, Clara waved him through like a tourist. Inside, holograms flickered in the darkness. Ancient Earth footage captured by observation drones dating back to the 21st century. "What?" she said, activating a sequence. A human male sprinted barefoot across blistered terrain. Ambient temperature, 44.7 C. Heart rate, 148 BPM. He carried no weapon, only a sharpened stick and a stare that never broke. "He's not chasing a beast," Zarkon growled. "He's hunting." With patience, Clara zoomed in on the prey, an antelope-like creature, panting, faltering. Persistence hunting. They didn't ambush. They followed, for hours, days, until the body failed. Zarkon's mind recoiled. Where are the claws? The fangs? They evolved something deadlier. She brought up a neurograph overlay. "See the surge? Dopamine and oxytocin, spiking during the hunt. While tracking prey, their brains rewarded them, not just for winning, but for connecting." Zarkon's arms tensed. "They felt empathy during the kill." Clara nodded. "That's the anomaly. That's the weapon." Another feed, tribal humans surrounding a freshly felled beast. They bowed. One wept. Those who evolved to respect the hunt became leaders. They didn't just kill to eat. They killed to remember. Zarkon stepped back. The predator equation he'd memorized since hatchling school, claws, speed, mass, meant nothing here. And now, Clara added, her tone shifting, they've replaced blades with orbital drop spears. Thermoptic cloaks, empathy-driven AI systems. They can end you, or understand you. That's their choice. Zarkon's breath hissed. "You mean," he said slowly, They're predators of both flesh and thought. Clara smiled. Exactly. And suddenly, the humans below didn't look small anymore. The Grand Convergence Chamber was a coliseum of stone and steel, layered with species-coded banners and reinforced in gravitic shielding. To contain anything short of a planetary detonation, it needed to be. At the heart of the room, a challenge was unfolding. Vyrketh of the Scareth, standing 3.2 meters tall and weighing 740 kilograms in hardened chitin, advanced toward the central platform. His voice cracked the silence like a mortar round. These humans do not belong among apexes. All eyes turned to Lena Voss. She stepped forward, alone, unarmored, save for a nanoweave suit woven with photoreactive fibers that shimmered like starlight. Lena's calm was surgical. Her biometrics remained stable, heart rate 60 to BPM. No fear, no tremor. Vyrketh's massive pincers flexed, displacing air like storm surges. You lack fang. You lack fury. This summit is sacred to predators born of blood and dominance. You are nothing. Lena's voice cut through the room like a scalpel. And yet, here we are. She raised her wristband. The hologram activated instantly, projecting a towering bestiary of Earth's apex predators across millennia. Saber-toothed cats, short-faced bears, dire wolves, megalania, all extinct. All of them, Lena said, dominated their worlds. And all of them, we outlasted, outhought, outlived. Vyrketh roared. Words are not power. Lena stepped forward. No, but memory is. She snapped her fingers. A second hologram ignited, this one of human warriors across centuries. From stone-tipped spears to orbital railguns, from primitive persistence hunters to kinetic satellite strikes. In 0.8 million years, we went from scavenging bones to rearranging star systems. A hush spread through the chamber. Then, a sound none expected, the scrape of Vyrketh's massive leg plates as he stepped back. Just half a pace. Instinctive. Subtle, but real. Recognition. Zarkon, watching from above, felt it in his chest plate. Humans had just passed the test no one gave them. They didn't assert dominance by force. They reminded every apex in that room what came next when the hunt was over. And it wasn't survival. It was evolution. Deep in the vault's sublayer, Zarkon stood before a rotating display. Earth's evolutionary timeline rendered in a spiral of bioluminescent glyphs. At its center, Homo sapiens. No claws, no armor, no venom, yet dominant. Look here, Clara gestured, pulling up a series of kinetic overlays. They weren't always hunters. For 3 million years, they were prey, picked off by saber-tooths, crocodilians, massive birds. Zarkon narrowed his eyes. So what changed? A new hologram flared to life, a simulation of an early human group, tracking prey across a sunbaked savanna. One fell behind, another looped back. They communicated, adapted. Neocortex expansion, Clara said. Speech, tools, empathy. They began to anticipate, not react. They didn't need to be stronger, just smarter, together. Zarkon watched as the humans encircled a panicked antelope, spears raised, but faces calm. They struck not in rage, but unity. Then knelt, touched the beast's hide. Chemical scan, Clara added. Their neural reward systems lit up during the hunt and during mourning. Zarkon's voice dropped, emotion fused with strategy. Clara nodded. They became something the galaxy didn't evolve for, a predator that feels, and therefore thinks farther ahead. She swiped again. Tactical overlays from modern Earth forces appeared, drones with bio-beta oral targeting, armor responding to emotional cues, AI sensed to team heartbeats. Zarkon stepped back. Empathy, he muttered, as a weapon. Clara smiled. No, as an engine. For everything they build, everything they are. Zarkon didn't answer. His silence said enough. The humans weren't predators because they killed. They were predators because they understood why not to, and still could. The emergency lights in the convergence chamber pulsed crimson. A live holo feed played overhead, torn bodies, scorched brush. and the remains of an exploratory drone team reduced to slag. 20 for Alliance specialists, eviscerated within 9 minutes on Vyrketh 7, a clash-red deathworld. The culprits, the Vyrketh, saber-fanged jungle apexes with bone-armored hides and coordinated pack instincts. Alliance command roared for retaliation. Deploy orbital strikes, one general barked. No contact, no mercy. Zarkon expected silence from the humans, but Lena Voss stepped forward, her voice clean and cutting. No, she said. We don't glass those we haven't spoken to. Murmurs rose. Zarkon narrowed his eyes. They killed our people, spat a Felther ambassador. They followed instinct, Lena countered. So did we, when we hunted one another for territory and pride. But someone taught us better, gave us a choice. She tapped her wristband. A vessel emerged, the Project Unity insignia, interlocking rings forming a spiral, Earth symbol at its center. Let us be the ones who teach them, not the ones who end them. Data flicked across the chamber. Survival rate on Vyrketh 7, 11 Fintrum. Success rate of human-led contact missions, 89.6 Fintrum. Emotional stability AI interface with Lena's team. Level 6 trauma adaptive. Empathy linked tactical armor. Field tested on for deathworlds. 0 casualties. Zarkon watched her, unsure if she was brave or something rarer. Send us in, Lena said, voice unshaken. Not as conquerors, as predators with purpose. The chamber hesitated, then nodded. They were going to Vyrketh. The dropship sliced through the atmosphere of Vyrketh 7 like a spearhead forged from defiance. Lightning surged across violet skies. Winds howled at 230 kilometers per hour. The jungle below was alive with motion, pulsing, watching, waiting. Inside the ship, Lena Voss stood with her squad. 6 operators clad in Gen for empathy-linked exosuits, neural-linked down to heartbeat sync. Their armor shimmered in bioreactive camouflage, shifting with temperature and emotional states. They carried no traditional firearms. Instead, plasma-forged spears, AI-guided pheromone projectors, and a new tool, echo nodes. Many drones broadcasting non-aggression pulses sensed to local fauna frequencies. Commander Zarkon watched from a secondary shuttle, optics tuned to capture every biological twitch. They're walking into the maw, he muttered. Not walking, clearer corrected through comms. Demonstrating trust. Lena's boots touched soil first. The ground hissed, acidic dew already testing the armor's seals. But no weapons were raised. The squad advanced calmly, echo nodes humming. From the shadows, the Vyrketh emerged, from meters tall, saber-length fangs. Scaled musculature like iron cables. One roared, leaping from the tree line. The team didn't flinch. Instead, Lena stepped forward, alone, spear grounded. Visor up. I see you, she said softly, voice projected in translated frequencies. The Vyrketh hesitated. Their nostrils flared. Every instinct told them to strike. But humans didn't sweat like prey. They stood like predators who chose not to attack, which was more terrifying than any snarl. The lead Vyrketh lowered his head slightly. Recognition. The first crack in the wall. Zarkon, watching from above, leaned forward. He'd seen soldiers conquer with fear. But this was something else entirely. They weren't just surviving Vyrketh. They were claiming it without blood. The storm intensified. Sheets of acid-laced rain slammed against the ridge where the humans stood. Their adaptive exosuits auto-sealing at level 5 corrosion defense. When velocity spiked to 260 kilometers per hour, turning trees into blurs of movement. Yet Lena Voss stood unmoving, the storm painting streaks of light across her visor. Across from her, the Vyrketh warlord emerged, towering at 4.7 meters, his saber fangs glistening with rain and hunger. Dozens of warriors flanked him, claws unsheathed, breath steaming in the cold. The humans held formation, spears grounded, neural pulses sensed. No panic. Fascinating, Zarkon whispered from the dropship above, sensors feeding data in real time. They're outnumbered 14-1. Clearer replied, eyes glowing. Not outmatched. The Vyrketh warlord snarled, He leapt forward, straight at Lena. She didn't move. Her echo nodes pulsed, a single tone of calm, not aggression, amplified across the cliffside. The warlord landed hard, thunder cracking. His jaw stopped inches from her face. Lena looked up, unblinking. Then she spoke, no translator needed. "We don't bow to fury. We walk through it." The warlord growled, confused. "We don't dominate because we're the strongest," she said. "We dominate because we understand strength in every form, even yours." Behind her, her team didn't raise weapons. They knelt, voluntarily, spear tips pressed to the earth. An ancient gesture. Submission without defeat. The warlord's eyes narrowed. His pack snarled, then paused. And one by one, the Vyrketh knelt. Not in fear, in respect. Roars followed, but not of challenge, of alliance. Zarkon sat back in stunned silence. Humanity hadn't just tamed the untamable. They'd shown monsters how to see themselves and offered them a different path. And somehow, impossibly, they'd been heard. The shuttle ascended through Korgoth 7's electric sky, slicing through the storm with stabilizers calibrated at 0.000 for grav-variance drift. Inside, silence. Zarkon sat across from Lena Voss, her visor now off, eyes reflecting only the dim cabin light. No triumph, just stillness. He studied her, this human who made monsters kneel without ever drawing blood. "I saw Vyrketh tear through alloy tanks once," he said quietly. "You faced them with nothing but words." Lena shrugged. "Words are just blades with better reach." He chuckled, but it held no mockery. "I was trained to crush, to intimidate. I thought fear was the apex trait. And now," Zarkon hesitated, looked through the window, at the planet below, now a little less wild, a little less alone. "I think the apex trait might be the ability to choose not to dominate and still win." He remembered his first contact with humans, a child on the refugee moon of Drelix 4. Fragile, dirt-covered, smiled up at him and offered half a nutrient bar. No fear, no calculation, just connection. He hadn't understood it then. Now he did. Behind Lena, her suit recharged, its adaptive mesh folding in rhythm with her breathing, responding to biometric calm. Even her armor trusted her. Zarkon leaned back. The galaxy didn't need another warlord. It needed humans, not to conquer, but to connect. And he was ready to follow. For the first time in decades, the hunter had found something he wanted to believe in. The Stellar Alliance mainframe pulsed with streams of data, color-coded, encrypted, cross-validated in over 9.3 billion predictive models. Science Officer Cleara's tendrils danced across the interface as she finalized her report for High Command. Subject: Homo sapiens Apex Evaluation, Post-Korgoth 7 Engagement. Summary findings: Threat Index, Gold, Red Control Potential for Overwhelming Dominance. Cognitive Adaptability Score, 97.6, 100. Empathy Combat Integration Efficiency, 91.3 Fintrum. Influence range across Apex species, 3.8x standard projection. Cleara added the final line manually, a rarity. They walk with monsters not because they are immune to fear, but because they've made fear irrelevant. On the top floor of the orbital station, Zarkon watched Earth's blue dot flicker on the galactic map, the planet that trained its predators to weep, then lead. Behind him, the chamber doors opened. Lena Voss entered, helmet in hand. No guards, no entourage. "You read it?" she asked. He nodded. "Every word." Lena glanced at the stars. "Still think we don't belong?" Zarkon didn't answer immediately. He stepped closer to the VIU port. "No," he said. "Now I wonder if we belong. If anyone else ever truly did." The two stood in silence. Not allies, not predators. Something new, something more. In the distance, Alliance requests poured in from for Apex species. All marked, human-led diplomacy requested. Because now the galaxy understood. The deadliest adaptation wasn't force. It was empathy backed by precision. And in the eyes of humanity, every predator saw themselves.